ಎಸ್ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, VIP ಲಾಂಚ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಎಂದಿನಂತೆ ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬರು VIP ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. VIP ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಈ ಸಲದ VIP ನಮ್ಮ ಗಡಿ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಕ್ಷಣೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥ VIP ವೈಸ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿರಲ್ ಬೋಳಾ ರಾಧಾಕೃಷ್ಣ ರಾವ್ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸರ್, ತಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ತಾವು ಹಲವಾರು ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಆರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಫೋರ್ಸಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ನೇವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ವೈಸ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿರಲ್ ತನಕ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ತಾವು ಈಗ ರಿಟೈರ್ಡ್ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಈ ಭಾಗದ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ತಿಳಿದಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಅತಿ ಶೋಕದ ವಿಷಯ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ನಡೆದಿರುವಂಥ ಪುಲ್ವಾಮಾ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್. ಆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ತಾವು ಉಡುಪಿ ಭಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಹೇಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ತಮಗೆ?
ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೂಲನಾಗದ ಪೂಜೆಗಾಗಿ ಬಂದದ್ದು. ಮತ್ತು ಉಡುಪಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿದರೆ ಸಣ್ಣಂದಿದ್ದು ತುಂಬ ಆಕರ್ಷಣೆ ಇತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಕಡಪಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಒಬ್ಬರು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಆಗಾಗ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ರಜೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಮೂಲ್ಕಿ ಮತ್ತು ಉಡುಪಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ದೂರ ಇಲ್ಲ, 30 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರು. ಒಂದು ಹೆಜ್ಮಾಡಿವರೆಗೆ ಉಡುಪಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕನ್ನಡ. ನಾನು NCCಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಡ್ ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಸು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜು 3rd ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ NCC ಕಿನ್ನಿಮುಲ್ಕಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಆಗಾಗ ನಾನು ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುವಾಗ ಆಗಾಗ ನಾನು ಕಿನ್ನಿಮುಲ್ಕಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಮುಂಚೆ ವೈಕುಂಠಬಾಳಿಗ ಲಾ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿನ್ನಿಮುಲ್ಕಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಲೇಟ್ TMI ಪೈ ಅವರ ದಿವಸದಿದ್ದು ಮೂಲ್ಕಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನವರು, ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಜಯ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನವರು ಯಕ್ಷಗಾನ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ
ಪಾತ್ರ ಹಾಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಉಡುಪಿಯ ಅವಿಸ್ಮರಣೀಯ ಹಲವಾರು ಸಂಘಗಳಿದೆ. ತಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಸರ್, ತಾವು ಲಾ ಅಂದರೆ ವೈಕುಂಠ ಬಾಳಿಗ ಲಾ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ರಿ. ಆದರೆ ಅದರ ನಂತರ ತಾವು ನೇವಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಂಥ ಸನ್ನಿಧಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು? ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಯೋಚನೆ ಬಂತು ತಮಗೆ?
ನಾನು ಸಣ್ಣದು 6th ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ 6ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಆಗ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ ಕೆಡೆಟ್ ಕೋರ್ ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು.
ಓಕೆ.
ಈಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಬಂದಾಯಿತು. 2 ವರ್ಷ ನಾನು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೆ.
ಹಾಂ, ಏನಿದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ
ACC ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು, ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ ಕೆಡೆಟ್ ಕೋರ್.
ಅಂದರೆ NCC ಮುಂಚೆ. ಓಕೆ.
8th ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಎಣಿಸಿದ್ದು ನಾನು NCC ಆರ್ಮಿಗೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಆದರೆ ಆ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಲ್ಕಿ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ NCC ನೇವಲ್ ವಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯಿತು.
ಓಕೆ.
ಸೊ ನಾನು NCC ನೇವಲ್ ವಿಂಗ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸರ್ತಿ ಆ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ, ವೈಟ್ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಥರದ ಒಂದು ಆಕರ್ಷಣೆ ಬಂತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದೇ ಗುರಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಏನಾದರೂ ಆದರೂ ನೇವಿಗೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಏಕಾಗ್ರತೆ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು 3 ವರ್ಷ ಜೂನಿಯರ್ ಡಿವಿಷನಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪನ್ನು ನಾನು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಬಂದೆ, ವಿಜಯ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ 2 ವರ್ಷ ಇದ್ದೆ. 2 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 5-6 ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕೆಡೆಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಐ ಗಾಟ್ ದಿ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಟು ವಾಕ್ ಆನ್ ದ ವಿಜಯ ಪಾತ್, ರಿಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಡೇ ಕಂಟಿಂಜೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್. RD ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕವನ್ನು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಆ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಮೈಸೂರು. ಆಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ಲೆಕ್ಚರರು ವಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ NCC. ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿಯ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ NCC ಇದ್ದು ನೇವಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಇದ್ದು ಇನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟಿನೆಂಟ್ ಕಮಾಂಡರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಡಿಸೂಜಾ ಅಂತಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರ ಮೂಲ್ಕಿಯವರು. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೋತ್ಸಾಹಿಸಿ ನನಗೆ ಆಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು NCCಯನ್ನು C ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ NDAಗೆ, ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಪ್ರೊವೈಡೆಡ್ ಯು ಪಾಸ್ ದಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್. ನಮ್ಮದು ಜಬಲ್ಪುರದಲ್ಲಿತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಎಣಿಸಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮಂಥ ಸಣ್ಣ ಊರಿನಿಂದ ಬಂದವರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ನಾನು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಥರದ ಒಂದು ಶಾಕ್ ಆಯಿತು ನನಗೆ.
ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಷನ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ BSc.
ಓಕೆ.
ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್. ವಿತ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಏಜ್ and minimum NCC qualification, I entered NDA.
So you did your graduation in the NDA course itself?
Okay. Jawaharlal Nehru University right. They affiliated to that. Right. So since I was in NCC and C certificate ಮಾಡಿ ಬಂದದ್ರಿಂದ I went straight into the 3rd year of National Defense Academy. ಅದು ಮಾಡಿ 1 ವರ್ಷ ಆದಮೇಲೆ I was recruited for the Navy only. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಇಂಟರ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ.
And what was your age that time?
17 and a half.
At the age of 17 and a half, you directly entered into the Navy. Right.
Then I went to the the naval training ship, when became midshipman and participated in 1971 war.
Right.
And then got commissioned, went for flying, and then joined hydrography. Hydrography is a specialization of the Navy, which measures the parameters of the water. ನೀವು ರೋಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ವಾ, ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮದು ಸಮುದ್ರದ್ದು ಚಾರ್ಟು. I was the national authority at that time. I was chief hydrographer to the Navy as well as to the Government of India. As a Government of India, I was national authority. Without my chart, you can't enter Mangalore Harbour.
Because you don't know what you path. You give a path, basically.
No, I give you depth in various places. You have to choose your path.
And you also instruct for dredging and other things. ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನಮ್ದಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಡ್ರೆಡ್ಜಿಂಗ್ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ನಮ್ದು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡುದು.
ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಟ್
is a big port every 5 years, a small port every 10 years. We keep repeating these things so that if there is a siltation, ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ನೀರು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟೈಡ್ ಏರು ಮತ್ತು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಸೆಡಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಅದು ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಸೆಡಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಓವರ್ ಎ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಯುವರ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸ್. Not only that, I was also the expert, supposed to be, I don't know, people say, on maritime boundary. So I've been to Pakistan 3 times. They have come here 3 times. I've been to Myanmar, Bangladesh.
You have also got several awards for that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Your Vishishta Seva medal was meant for
Vishishta Seva medal when I was in charge of Seabird, the mega project of the Indian Navy, biggest, largest harbor, naval harbor, independent naval harbor. Illadiದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾರ್ಬರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮರ್ಚೆಂಟ್ ನೇವಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ಇದು ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಹಾರ್ಬರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು.
ಮಸ್ಗಾಂವ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂಬೈ ಡಾಕ್
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀಬರ್ಡ್ ಕಾರವಾರದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದು ವಿ ಮೇಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಟ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 1999 to 2003. ಜೆಟ್ಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೌ phase 2 ಮೇ ಬಿ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ahead of time, which is very rare in defense projects. So I was given Vishishta Seva medal. Then when I was the chief hydrographer as rear admiral, I was given Ati Vishishta Seva medal because of the maritime boundary negotiation and all.
With Pakistan as well as
Myanmar, Bangladesh. And I was also the member of the various committee of International Hydrographic Organization, whose headquarters is in Principality of Monaco.
Monte Carlo. So you could actually design our international boundaries.
Yes, we have designed almost all in our neighbors, except Pakistan.
Sir, you have done a great job when it comes to the kind of negotiation which you had to do with respect to the boundary with Pakistan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. Now the issue of boundary still continues. With the Pulwama attack, probably the entire country wants to know what is the actual way ahead for India.
You see, for everything there is required what everybody says, niyat. Your thinking has to be correct. For example, when I went for final negotiation for maritime boundary, because I have a God-given gift of reading between the lines. So various regulations, resolutions, I pinned them down. And we almost succeeded in negotiation. Because they were saying Sar Creek, that is between India and Pakistan. That is a land boundary. They were not ready to negotiate the land boundary, giving various reasons. Every time you say something, they'll come with an alternative. So I said, okay, if you want, that's the problem, because our fishermen were crossing without having the line. So we need to give them a line. So I said, in case you don't want to negotiate from the seaside, land side, let us start from the seaside, and come as much as close to the land, so that the both side fishermen knows how to where the line is. And I still remember when we went to Pakistan, on the day we landed there with a team, interministerial team. That time President was General Musharraf. He met us same evening on dinner in one of the hotels. Surprising, meeting in the hotel, because he had come with his family for the dinner, and we were having dinner there. So he said, when we was told that we are there, he came to us, and he looked at me and said, Admiral, tomorrow morning maritime boundary will be resolved in 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I was very happy. At least we can tell the world India and Pakistan can do something together.
Right.
Because we don't seems to be doing anything together.
Anything together.
But next day they changed their position. Said that no, we need to connect everything together.
Probably there is more of a superpower above General Musharraf there.
Yes, there is something called as General Headquarters, GHQ.
Right.
They look at it from the overall perspective.
Huh.
General Musharraf almost succeeded with that time UPA in negotiating
Right.
various positions.
Huh.
But rightly so, that they wanted, their main contention is that they want India to vacate Siachen Glacier.
Okay. Okay.
Like you seen Kargil, they
Right.
went on to the height targeting
Right,
our
right.
national highway.
Right.
So they feel that if India vacates, they will also ready to go back. We should also go back. But you can't trust Pakistan.
They might
That's it.
come back anytime.
They will
The
come
way-
back, then
they-
you can't get them out.
Get them out.
So Indian Army rightly said that no,
That's not possible.
that is not possible. We can't vacate, because if tomorrow you come back, then what do we do?
Right.
So their only position was that, so that they can, like Kargil, they did, when you know that when Mr. Vajpayee ji
Right.
went to this thing, our Hodaga, they welcomed him. At the same time, General Musharraf, that time Chief of Army Staff, he invaded Kashmir,
Yeah,
Kargil,
Kargil area.
Heights.
Right.
So from that position, Indian Army rightly said that sorry, that cannot be the position. So because of that, nothing happens, and it is so many years. That was, I think.
Do we
2000.
really have a boundary for our international waters between Pakistan and India now?
No, we don't have, but both of us know where the boundary lies.
See, some learned people keep telling about line of patrol and line of control. I don't know in depth, but when
No,
we
that becomes only the land boundary.
land boundary.
Land.
So in sea, what is
No,
our
no.
boundary called as?
It's a maritime boundary.
Maritime boundary. Right. And there is a boundary where both of us know it is not each other's territory, but we still go.
No, we know it, because both of us have claimed continental shelf,
Okay.
exclusive economic zone. You see, you have the land.
Right.
There is high water, which is
Right.
the land boundary, from
Right.
there starts. Then there is a low water from where sea boundary starts. 12 nautical miles is the territorial waters.
Territorial waters.
And then 200 nautical miles is the exclusive economic zone.
Okay.
Then beyond that, up to 350 nautical miles,
Huh.
provided three formulas are
Right.
satisfied, it goes to continental shelf.
Okay.
So we were to give our claims, both of us, by 2009.
Right. Right.
And for that you need to know the last point, 200 nautical mile point.
Right.
And both of us claimed, and both of us got it, our continental shelf, which
Okay.
means they also know, we also know.
But still we are not
But
able to
when
admit
we
it.
come, no, we have not drawn it, they have not accepted it. But when we came to international this thing, Commission on Legal Continental Shelf,
Right.
CLCS they call it, that we have both of us claim partially though, because
Okay.
when it comes to natural this thing we cannot.
There are so many instances when Indian fishermen have been caught in Pakistan and they have been arrested for a long time now. So what exactly is happening there? Why is that this, when we don't have a boundary, don't we have an exchange of fishermen who
they
are
do. Initially both were tough, because what happens is that the fisherman, for him more than boundary is the catch,
right,
because that is his livelihood. And for him, partition or no partition has got no meaning, because he has and his forefathers have been fishing in
fishing in the
place.
same place.
So they go, and these people come and catch them. We also catch them,
Huh.
but then we have an exchange formula.
Okay.
Especially over a period of time,
Hmm.
a kind of a formula has been put into place that within so many days you have to repatriate them and vagara vagara.
But they keep doing it, or
There are NGOs, because after retired,
Huh.
after my retirement,
Hmm.
I became member of what is called a track 2,
okay,
where we used to meet under the aegis of Canadian University, Ottawa University, to discuss and come out of the box solutions. What happens is that when you are in government, you have a stated position.
correct, correct.
So therefore, you are always, because you need to take CCPA approval.
You need to
and
take a approval
yeah,
from
CCS
the
and all that.
Right.
But when you are outside, you can openly discuss and come to some kind of a suggestion, recommendation, and give it to the government. So in that we found that there are one or two NGOs, both sides are making efforts to, you know, reduce the pain of this.
Right. With time, probably the relationship between Pakistan and India has always been spoilt, and it's always been under stress. And now, after the Pulwama attack, we all know we have completely given off their status of being a friendly nation. What is your opinion?
No, you have to look at it from the perspective of what Zulfikar Ali Bhutto said. We will bleed India with 1,000 cuts. And I don't think they are very serious in having a good relation with India.
Right. So,
because for them, there is nothing else except focus is on Kashmir.
Coming back to the 71 war which you fought, somewhere down we were powerful enough to really, take the negotiation our way. But somewhere we lost that in their way. What is the reason behind it?
You see, always never go on the hindsight. You can always have number of solutions.
Right.
But you should see what was the perception at that time and why it happened at that time.
Can you share some experiences? What exactly happened then?
No, as far as the 71 war was, it was a walkover for India.
Right.
Except in western sector, some hard battles were fought.
Right.
But India went through very clearly into the Bangladesh. Otherwise, you can't capture an army of 90,000+ people surrendered to the army. That 90,000 people is a big number.
Big number
for an army. They could have fought this thing, but they surrendered because they knew that it was sure death. And Navy had blockaded Cox's Bazar side, you know, that side, pounded all the harbors, and Vikrant and other ships blockaded so that nobody can enter. And this side, missile boats and everybody blasted the hell out of Karachi and this thing. So it was total
disaster for
Pakistan Navy.
Right.
Then Air Force also got the upper hand.
Right.
And then Army got the upper hand, and they didn't have any other option but to surrender.
Yes.
But while surrendering, a lot of pressure comes. Even for ceasefire, pressure comes from the other country. After all, you are that time you are not such a powerful nation.
Right.
And you are a non-aligned nation. You are a democratic nation. Pakistan was under the martial law.
Right.
So a lot of things happens. So you come under a lot of pressure. What pressure, when comes, and this thing. So as defense forces, our job is to do what we are told.
Right.
You get op order, you get operational order what to do.
Right.
Government tells you this is your aim.
Right.
Achieve it. So you achieve it. After that you have got no say. So we just do our job and just retreat to the barracks.
Right.
That is why it is democracy. And other side was
with this international pressure, later us losing the POK.
No, POK was not lost in 1970.
No, I am saying later us losing the POK. Was there any other way of negotiating so that we would have made our boundary much more stronger?
Well, I told you, on the height side you can always think this could have happened, that could have happened. At that moment time, both Russia and Americans were the superpowers.
And they were pressurizing.
And 71 war, Russia was one of the people who stopped American from interfering.
Right.
You must have heard 7th Fleet was about to come, and Russians, said don't come in and all that.
Right.
So their opinion also matters from that point of view.
Right.
So we don't know what political compulsions were there to take decisions which was taken.
Right.
So I always believe that we should not go and say that on the hindsight this could have happened.
To the dissection of what could have happened. Right.
We should look at it from the point of view what we are supposed to do.
Where did we go wrong with respect to POK? Why exactly we lost that part of ours?
No, that is again a political question.
Right. But from your view.
Yeah, but what happened was that number one, the king, Raja of Kashmir, Raja Hari Singh, he delayed giving accession, signing the accession treaty.
Right.
accession treaty.
Right.
If it have signed it earlier, the so-called raiders from Pakistan would not have entered, because by then Indian army would have been in a position to go in.
Right.
So he signed when they were almost near the Kashmir border.
Border.
So by then they had already come into the now Pakistan occupied Kashmir.
Okay.
By the time Indian army went and they were about to enter, they were very clear that they are going to take over the Kashmir. But the Indian army was innovative ideas, out of the box this thing. Now when I read this thing, assembled various heavy artillery guns and things like that, so which Pakistan didn't expect. So though they said that it was raiders, but it was Pakistan army in their
itself
uniform.
which
But when that happened, again the international community went for ceasefire. From our side also it was taken to UN. So it was all political decision rather than a military operation.
somewhere we were weak in taking that call that we budged for the pressure.
I think best person to answer that is the
Is
politician.
politician, not the
Because these are all political decisions.
But how was your when the armed forces were quite strong in India when compared to Pakistan, what was the feeling of the armed forces?
No, you
then?
see, India has got a very disciplined armed force. We don't ask questions,
We only follow.
because if you ask questions, then you land up like Pakistan.
Right.
Because you cannot ask a question. If I am told to fire, I fire.
Right.
Because we have a system by which you come to the level of a Jawan.
Correct.
You got staff solutions, appreciation, op order. There's so much of thing goes in the staff work before an order comes to you to fire or occupy or something.
Right.
So it is a disciplined force which obeys the order, whoever is the master.
Good. Right.
It doesn't, because that is why we are known as apolitical people.
Apolitical, right, right. So the armed forces is apolitical. We need to discuss much more with our VIP today, Vice Admiral Bola Radhakrishna Rao. Before that, let's take a small break. ಎಸ್ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, VIP ಲಾಂಚ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ ವೈಸ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿರಲ್ ಬೋಳಾ ರಾಧಾಕೃಷ್ಣ ರಾವ್ ಅವರೊಂದಿಗೆ. ಇವರು ನವಸೇನೆಯ ಅತಿ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠ ಹಲವಾರು ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಪಾತ್ರರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್, ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ಅನ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ನೌಸೇನಾ ಮೆಡಲ್, and that was for basically the Air India Jumbo Emperor Ashoka, which crashed into Mumbai in 1978, and you were one among the rescuers there. So what was this experience?
I was commanding a missile boat,
Right.
which took part in 1971 ops, and they had I was to go and become a hydrographer. I had volunteered and was
Right.
supposed to go to the course. And that day, New Year day, Emperor Ashoka 747
Right.
Air India jumbo jet crashed into outside Bombay.
Bombay.
So I had lot of space on my this thing, and being the junior most, I was told, okay, go and start look at it. They are already had a task force there.
Right.
One big ship was there; he was conducting the whole operation. And number of small ships were there. And I was deputed to take there. First day only I picked up about 70-80 dead bodies. And it was a very sad
Sad scene.
because there was no survivors.
How many were
Totally I picked about 100-110 dead bodies.
dead bodies, and there were many who couldn't be traced also, probably.
No, because after that we gave up, because even those dead bodies came, either you got the upper one or the lower one. Because you had the seat belt on. When the jumbo jet hit the water, and depth was only about 12 meters, so jumbo went straight into the
And blasted.
and cut into various pieces.
Right.
So the people who got either their head knocked off or the stomach cut off and things like that.
Right.
So after about 2-3 days we decided to do away.
Stop the operation.
Yeah, because
and
you don't know
probably-
whose body, and You can't recognize. you see.
Recognize. And probably in the year 78,
And we-
all the
yeah.
facilities required for
Not
the
there.
DNA and all
plus
the
we
stuff
don't
were
know
also
because
not there.
one dead body I picked up, it turned out to be a dog.
Right.
So then we started saying that, you don't know what it exactly
What
it is.
exactly it is.
We are very sentimental in India that we need last rites, part of the body. But which part, whose part, you don't know, because then you'll have to do we don't know whether it is to be cremated, all kinds of comes.
Oh, yeah.
So we have picked up whatever was floating.
Right.
We didn't go into the depth where it got stuck or something like that, then, thing like that.
So when we talk about RC and the kind of technology which is available today, recently, especially in this part of Karnataka, that is through Malpe, there is one boat which is missing since last 48 days. And it is said that this particular boat which had gone towards Maharashtra border, and after that at 1 AM it got missed. So don't we have a technology to really find out what has happened to this particular boat?
You see, these days everybody has got a beautiful radio set. They have got GPS. But these people don't bother because they need to, how will you come to know? When I was chief hydrographer, I was a member of number of committees where we wanted to put transponder on each motorboat.
Right,
We've got what is called as long range tracking system.
right,
When somebody enters our exclusive economic zone,
right.
we should be able to pick up and track him.
Track him.
That is the level. And we wanted to track every fishing boat within that, 60 miles, 70
But
miles.
are we able to do that now, or?
We are able to do provided they have the transponder on.
No, the GPS was on, what I heard.
Uh,
The GPS was on till 1 AM in the morning.
so GPS is on. Was it transmitting to somebody?
Yes, it is a set of 5 boats which usually go for fishing, and the other boats were able to connect to each other for a very long time. But unfortunately, after 1 AM in the morning till the next day, nobody could trace it.
That is what it is. So, what happens is that unless you know the position, you see global positioning system,
Right.
the minimum error on a normal GPS
Right.
at sea is minimum 50 meters.
Okay.
With the normal, that handheld
Right,
GPS,
right.
unless it's very high, because there are 18 satellites of GPS.
50 meters is not a big distance.
No, it is not a big distance, but for tracking something, you need to know exact pinpoint.
Right.
It is not a big distance, but you gave almost 12 hours. How do you track during that time?
Even if it is at 30-35 nautical miles, it can easily cover around in 12 hours
Absolutely.
around 200-250 miles.
No, boat will go say around 10 to 12 knots. That is
Knots.
about
Okay.
25 kilometers or 20
Okay.
kilometers. So 12 hours means 200 kilometers. So
But,
that's hell of a distance.
Okay, so we have lost the connectivity with that particular boat, but don't we have a imagery system which can really regenerate where
No,
exactly?
Let me tell you, imagery system also need to have, you can go up to 200 meters like this. Now you need to know which path he was following. That is why the GPS tracking is most important.
Right.
Unless he has transmitted, everybody has got a mobile.
Yeah.
He could have switched on. After that, when it went into the water, mobile must have gone.
Right.
Otherwise, mobile can also be tracked provided he gets the.
The connectivity.
Yeah. Of course, satellite phone won't be there with them.
Then
So, if he is out by about 20 nautical miles, he may not even get mobile.
mobile.
So, it is horrendous stuff. Navy and Coast Guard has done their job.
Right.
We have got lot of technology, but we need to know where at least estimated position. No?
Right. Right.
Say you can say it 10 square nautical miles.
Do we have a satellite imagery which works on this particular area?
Satellite imagery is not applicable for sea.
Okay.
Otherwise, Pakistan would have given us they tried their best saying that let's go for satellite imagery. Satellite imagery it goes on infrared that
Okay.
time. Infrared penetrates only up to 10 meters. Beyond that it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It is only sound waves.
Okay. Okay. So even if there is some accident or toppling of this particular boat, the only way to find it is probably through deep sea.
No, the only way probably to find out is oil slick or some portion floating.
And if nothing as such is there?
then it is impossible, almost becomes very difficult, because you are given 12 hours time. From the time where it has gone, why it has not been able to communicate. all
And
that.
unfortunately, it was searched only after five days. You know, what also happened is it was reported only after 5 days of the incident.
That is the problem, you see. People, you see, they don't bother about. I've seen it in Park Bay. Now, for example, you talked about maritime boundary. Same thing happened in Park Bay.
Right.
So we said that, okay, I was chairman of one of the committees. We said we'll have, when you cross the line, we will give you bleep on your mobile.
On your mobile.
We'll put towers.
Right.
There are number of towers, because Park Bay is not very big.
Big.
We said we'll give you indication. It
That
will
you are
give you
crossing
saying
the
you are
line.
crossing the line.
Right.
But nobody wanted it.
Because probably the fishing will not be possible if.
Because Park Bay is overfished.
Okay.
And you get very good fish on the other side. So that is why it is very attractive that way. So I tried my best. I gave my report, but implementation becomes a problem.
They are ready to risk their life for the sake of.
No, after all, it is livelihood.
Livelihood.
So for livelihood, people do anything. Go into the ancient histories.
Right.
So you will find the people have gone where all
True.
to just to.
And
find
we are the ones who have actually drawn the border. They have been fishing since.
No, but at least if you have
years.
about 5-6 people on a boat,
Huh.
you know, the best form is a transponder.
Right.
Like you take a Persian trawler.
Right.
They have got the modern sets. They have got GPS. They have got echo sounder. They have got various
Like fish finder
gadgets.
systems and all that.
But these are these dhow type of boats or
Right.
small boats.
Right.
They go say about 20 miles or 30 miles maximum.
Maximum.
Even dhows go up to 40-50 miles. You know, sometimes. I have been in a boat just to get the feel of it. Old days.
Right.
We went to about 40-50 miles. I went overnight and
Right.
stayed with them and all that. That time there was nothing. But you must remember, they are the best navigators.
Okay. They know
Like-
the sea better than
Anybody.
anyone else.
Because in good old days, even when we were youngsters, we used to navigate using sun and stars.
Right. Right.
And they are the best. They know which side is the land, which side is this thing. The modern generation may not know, because they are relying so much on Google and GPS
Right.
that they have forgotten the basics of navigation.
Navigation.
We used to do sun run Melalt, star sight and all that. That is how we used to know where we are.
So now it's been almost 5 years since you retired.
8 years.
8 years since you retired. So in 8 years, lot of things are changing around you. The naval power which you expect India to have, are we on the right path?
Yes. Especially with what India has produced, Arihant and triads,
Right.
both you have the capability
Of
from all three
all
sides,
three sides.
all three surfaces, what you
Right.
call air and sea.
Right.
That is what is required. But we are a democratic nation. We are a
Right.
peaceful nation. We have already said our this thing is not first use. So therefore, our policy has been like this. So what happens is that we are a very emotional, sensitive, and God-fearing people.
Right.
So our
We don't want to hurt others.
Hurt others.
Right.
And others take advantage of such things, and they think that they can keep bashing you.
Right. You mentioned previously that probably we were weak then. That was the the sentence which I could pull out. So what do you mean by that? Now we are able to establish geopolitically that we are powerful enough.
Yes, we are weak then because we were non-aligned, and we had no support from any global powers.
Right.
And some of our decisions, rightly or wrongly, I don't know, gave away what was our
Birthright.
birthright.
Right.
Like for example,
The POK part or.
no, even the big five of the UN,
Right.
I think offered it to China.
Right. Right.
So we could have been, today we wouldn't have suffered, that kind of. So certain decisions were taken at that time in a, a good sense. Over the period of time might have turned around. That's what I said, you cannot go into the hindsight and say this could have been done, that could have been done. But at that time, why I say we are weak? Because we are economically weak.
Right.
We were on lot of support from others,
Other countries.
and we were under pressure from a lot of countries,
Right.
especially the big two.
What changed in last 8-9 years?
During UPA time, we started gathering, especially from, let us say, from 1991, when economical reforms started kicking in. We started becoming little more assertive and becoming better and better and better and better. But maybe that politically we were having our own compulsions,
Okay.
because it was all coalition governments.
Coalition governments.
Coalition government.
With a clear majority which Narendra Modi government took around 4.5 years back. Geopolitically, we keep reading in the media that he could ascertain lot of things. So why, how did this happen, or what are
No,
the
what
things?
happens is that when you are becoming economically strong, how do you become economically strong? You have to, I am not an economist, but what I read and analyze from paper and media is that when you go in for a reform, high-ended reforms,
Right.
it may take some time for the result to come in, but you become stronger and stronger. And because he had the majority, and his this character of meeting people and making friendship,
Right.
he has been able to get lot of foreign countries on our side
On our support.
as friends.
Coming back to the Pulwama attack, what happened? And almost all the countries supporting India other than China. Now, I have to ask you, why is that, though we share a boundary with China, we could never have a good relationship with China, or China always have played against us?
You see, these superpowers have got their own compulsions.
Okay.
Each one is trying to become superior to other.
Right.
And in the bargain, they, what China is doing is that they have got Pakistan, they support Pakistan. Pakistan's own agenda is,
Disturbing the economy of India.
they are not able to do that, but they want to bleed India through Kashmir.
Right.
Even if, God forbid, I mean, let us take, I shouldn't be saying that, but even if you give it to Kashmir, tomorrow they'll say we want Jammu, then they'll say we want Delhi, like the Mughals time probably.
Right. Right.
So there is no end to the greed, and that's not possible, because you cannot give an inch to anybody of your land. You wouldn't like to insult your motherland by giving to somebody who don't deserve that.
Right.
So from that point of view, China is looking it from to contain India,
Okay.
because what has happened is India, USA and Japan have made it into a small
Right.
group,
Right.
which is indirectly threatening to
dangerous or
China.
affecting China.
And one of the biggest thing that happened was Doklam.
Right.
They didn't expect India to stand there,
Stand there.
and we stood very strongly and firmly.
And it was the first time for India to take a stand, something like Doklam.
Absolutely. So India took a very strong. India has been taking stand. For example, Arunachal Pradesh. We took a stand even much earlier also, but we were not very assertive on that stand. We
Right.
didn't make it public. Here it became public. That insulted China to a lot of extent. But you see, economy is more important than all these things.
Right.
So we and China, India and China has got a hell of a lot of economical
Transactions.
So this becomes secondary. But the question is, what have, as I happened to, this chap, what is the, Honey, the other guy who was 2611?
You mean to say Bin Laden?
No, global, UN has declared him global terrorist. Asif.
Not Osama Bin Laden.
No, in Pakistan.
Pakistan. Okay.
Azhar Mahmood and the other guy.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I
All right.
forgot. So he's been declared as a global terrorist,
Global terrorist.
but LET,
Okay.
Lashkar-e-Toiba.
Right.
But he is walking free. Pakistan is not bothered. Because what has happened is that Pakistan hopes that Saudi Arabia will back them.
But Saudi Arabia already rejected backing them.
Why yesterday they gave, I don't know what, India, I have not seen this thing. But US also need them for Afghanistan. Till probably Chabar, our port comes in.
Right.
Then you don't need Pakistan, because otherwise all the supplies have to go through this thing, Pakistan.
Right.
So
China as such has also kept on interfering into our Nagaland area or Mizoram area.
those are, you see, what has happened is the McMahon line is not a demarcated one.
Right.
So it is a notional thing. They
Notional
come, they
boundary,
go,
you mean to
they
say.
come, they go. It's all, nobody there, no residents are there, it's not inhabited. So it is open, like, ಗುಡ್ಡದ ಹಾಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಒಂದು ಗುಡ್ಡದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದರು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಗುಡ್ಡ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಳಿದ್ರು, you don't know till we tell them, okay, you go back, and they go back. Like that it happens.
Right.
But India will not give up that, like Narendra Modi went there, they objected.
Right.
India said, that is your problem, objection is your problem.
Your problem.
We are not bothered.
So yes, sir. Talking about the assertion of boundary, talking about you have worked with maritime boundary, and there is also the land boundary which we have, the line of control. One of my good friend in army keeps saying that we might not have patrolled the entire LOC till now. What is the reason behind that? Since you are from the
No,
armed
you see,
forces.
there are two ways of boundary there. One is international boundary, which is a demarcated boundary.
Okay.
Like I was telling you, that boundary comes from Rajasthan through Gujarat, then goes to Sar Creek and becomes a land boundary.
Right.
So that terminus, last one has not been demarcated.
Demarcated.
That is the Sar Creek.
Right.
That's a creek, water comes there, so that land boundary comes and joins the Sar Creek, and then Sar Creek was supposed to be demarcated half, whatever that formula was.
Yeah.
That has not been done. But that is purple line, that has been demarcated, Rajasthan and Gujarat.
Correct.
That is known as international boundary.
Boundary.
That is well known.
Right.
Rest of the things from there is LOC, line of control.
Right. Right.
Okay, line of control means boundary is, fluid, but people know this is the controlling line. They also know, we also know, we can mark it. So I don't know, because what happens is that in Kashmir area and other reaches, it is impossible to walk.
Correct.
So boundary pillars are kept, like that, like Tiger Hill, Kargil, Daras, and even beyond that, Siachen Glacier.
Right.
How will you mark the boundary?
You can't mark the boundary. So you put a boundary.
Pillars.
Pillars.
You put pillars and give them.
So we are not able to patrol that area, but we are able to only have.
We do patrol from the ingress or something like that,
Right.
through helicopters and patrolling parties going, or you have these shepherds,
Right.
going up and down. They are also told to look at it,
Right.
because it's a Herculean task.
Right.
So, but we know where the line is. On the map it is very, very clearly marked.
Right.
And in the modern times with satellite there, and there are cartosats,
Okay.
especially for the military and survey purpose, which gives you sub-meter accuracy.
Okay.
So you can know what exactly is happening, like your Google.
Right. Right.
Google, though it will not give you that kind of an accuracy,
but the
cartosat gives you very,
Right.
very clear accuracy.
So,
in modern times, you don't even have to patrol.
right.
You know what's happening.
Right.
So, like I said that our objective was.
But have we agreed upon, example in the Chinese border, have we agreed upon that this is our boundary?
No, certain places not.
Right.
Like Arunachal Pradesh is one. Then other place they have come in,
Right.
Aksa chain and all that. So, boundary negotiation is going on,
Going on.
but they are sticking to 1962 position.
Right. So, coming to almost the conclusion of this particular interview, recent Pulwama attack, what do you think should be the response of our country?
Like everybody says, like I was watching Defence Minister Raksha Mantri saying yesterday, Prime Minister Pradhan Mantri has already said,
The revenge is there.
all statement was that we will not let go their martyrdom waste. That is one. Number two, he has given a free hand to army. You choose and you do at the time and of
You
your
propose
choosing.
a war?
War is not a solution.
Okay.
Because war, the international community will not allow a war because both are nuclear powers.
Right.
Not that anybody is going to use it. But war is not a solution.
Then what is the solution, sir, according to you?
Solution is maybe we have to take a leave from US.
Okay. So with this small hint, probably one more surgical strike is what he is trying to hint. VIP ಲಾಂಚ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ತಾವು ಇಷ್ಟು ತನಕ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ. ವೈಸ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿರಲ್ ಬೋಳಾ ರಾಧಾಕೃಷ್ಣ ರಾವ್ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮದೇ ಊರಿನವರು, ಹತ್ತಿರದ ಮುಲ್ಕಿ ಅವರು. ಮುಲ್ಕಿಯ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲೇಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿ 17 ವರ್ಷ ಪ್ರಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ನೇವಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅತಿ ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟ ಸೇವಾ ಮೆಡಲನ್ನು ಪಡೆದು ನಮ್ಮ ವೈಸ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅವರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ತನಕ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಸರ್, ತಮಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್. ತುಂಬ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಎಸ್ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ VIP ಲಾಂಚ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಮುಂದಿನ ವಾರ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು VIP ಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಡುವೆ ಬರಲಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.